Welcome to the Consult Club, your trusted space for real conversations about beauty, health, and personal growth. Here, we cut through the noise, bringing you expert insights and rigorously vetted products so you can feel confident in your choices and truly connected to yourself and others. I'm your host, Laura Beecham, founder of ShopDerm. With my medical expertise and passion for skin health, I'm here to empower you with science-backed knowledge in the industry's most coveted, expert-tested beauty products. Because when it comes to skincare and self-care, you deserve nothing but the best.
Glad we've found a time to make this work.
Yes, me too.
How was your birthday trip?
It was amazing. So we went to Tennessee for a few days and we stopped in Chattanooga. It was fun because I popped in some stores that carry my brand. So that was a lot of fun. And then went to Bolt Tree Farm. No, sorry, Bolt Farm Treehouse.
Oh,
Have you heard of it?
They also own Blackberry?
No, I think it's different owners, but they have 25 tree houses. They're like luxury tree houses.
Oh,
It was
fun.
beautiful and relaxing. It was amazing.
Oh, that's so nice. Did you go with girlfriends or did you go with
I actually went with my husband.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh,
It
fun.
was fun. We haven't had a trip like away since our daughter was born 5 years ago. So
Oh,
it was a
wow.
good little birthday
You
surprise.
needed that.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited to get to chat. We can't wait to come to Greenville next week. It's going to be fun. I've actually never been to Greenville, so I'm excited about that.
You're going to love it.
Excited to see the store. So Jenny is the founder and the owner of Harrington's. And I want to kind of hear the whole story. I know Jenny told me you're originally from Greenville. Is that correct? Like born and
Yes.
raised in Greenville.
Yep.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Did you have like a fashion background? Like just tell us the like birth and story of Harrington's.
Okay. So yes, I actually studied retail at the University of South Carolina. So my degree is in retail and I had fashion merchandising classes and, all the fun stuff. I worked in retail all through high school when I wasn't playing sports and I just loved it. I loved the fashion side of it and working with customers. So that was back in the day. I worked like in and out of retail. I actually taught it after college. I did like pharmaceutical sales. So I've always been in sales, but just different industries. And right after my daughter was born in January of 2020, I was doing marketing for a software company. And about 6 months into it, I said to my husband, I'm either going to open my store that I've always like had a business plan for years, or stay at home. And he was like, okay, go for it. And I think he thought I was kidding. So he was just like, whatever. And so I contacted a retail consultant that I had known from my sister who has a children's store. And she at the time she had it for about 11 years. So I contacted her and talked to her about things and just kind of went from there. And I think my husband was a little surprised. But I was like, yeah, I've hired my retail consultant and everything kind of fell into place after that. So I started planning it early fall of 2020 and I opened in April of 21.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
Yes, but I had a lot of experience in buying. So I'd helped my younger sister, Christina. She owns Van and Live, which is across the street from Harrington's.
How fun.
It's a lot of fun. So I had helped her with buying for children's before. And I actually had a fashion blog that I started for fun and it kind of grew. Like I really just started it for my friends. They were like, just post your outfits you wear every day. So I had a website until it got hacked a few years ago.
Oh, no.
And it was in the middle of me opening my store and everything. So I never really brought the website back because it was so much trouble trying to get it back up. But so I've always loved fashion and sales and I love the buying part. But yeah, that's kind of how it took off and how Harrington started.
So what was you had said you kind of had this business plan or vision. What was the vision? Like, what was your niche? What was your goal? What about owning the store? Because like fashion is such a fascinating industry, but it's like
Yes.
you could design clothing, you could style fashion, you could work for a fashion designer. Like, what made you want to go into the niche of like, I own and run a store that I get to select the brands and buy and set the vibe?
Yes. So I had a business plan for years. Like I always knew I wanted to open a women's store after I studied retail in college. And I feel like the buying is probably my favorite part. I don't know, buying and selling to customers because I love seeing our customers like every day and getting to sell them. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. But my vision was I wanted somewhere in Greenville that like had a big mix of price points and a lot of different brands that I wasn't seeing around town.
Mhm.
Because I've always like studied the brands and like different labels and like Australia, Europe, and because a lot of it you couldn't find locally.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so that kind of made me like know the direction I wanted to go in. And my sisters both helped me. So my twin sister Steffi, she had a wholesale background. She also studied retail in college. We were in all the same classes, but she had a background with Southern Tide in wholesale.
Mhm.
So they were a huge help. Just like getting some information that I wasn't aware of. And my retail consultant was, of course, helpful with like numbers, the open to buy, and all the like business side of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's a big
that's
piece.
really my, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said that's a big piece of it. Like when you're first starting, you have minimum orders. How much do you order? How many of each size? Like what's going to
Yeah,
sell? Like that's all really tricky, particularly when you're first starting.
it is for sure. And my consultant has had so much experience like in the industry, and she has consulted for like hundreds of different retailers. So I knew she was great at what she did. And she does like all the numbers side of things. I'm not a numbers person. I'm more like
Interesting.
sales face to face.
Yeah.
I get my budget for like all the categories and I go to the show and I'm like, okay, she does the budget and then I pick the things that I think our customers will love.
No, that's kind of nice. So she tells you, like, this is what I think you should be spending on dresses for summer 2025. And then
Yes.
you go and you're like, okay, I'm going to pick. How do you decide how many to order of each size?
So I feel like we kind of learned our customers based on the first year.
Mhm.
And I did when I opened, I didn't want everyone in Greenville to be seen in the same outfit. Cause Greenville is grown tremendously, but like everyone's connected somehow. And never want to show up to like a big party with the same dress as someone else.
Mhm.
So I try to limit it. We carry like extra small through large or extra large in our store. And we usually do like smaller quantities of each size, just
Yeah.
so everyone doesn't have it.
Which is true. I mean, I shop a lot of boutiques in Atlanta, and I like the fact that I know not everyone's going to be wearing it, but also I'm like I love fashion and shopping, but I like there's a store right now that I know they're getting a dress in sometime in the next week, and I am like stalking their social media because I know as soon as they post it, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
So it's like and which for me is like somewhat stressful because I'm like seeing patients in the office and I can't always like run up, but also kind of fun. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I get to like watch and see what comes out and see if I can get it. It's like a game.
It is. People are like, now I have to come in every week because I won't get my size if I don't
Correct.
come each week.
Correct. Same. My like favorite boutiques. I go very regularly, and I'm like, what do we have? What's left of my size? But then it's great because now they will pull things and text me and be like, hey, we got this in. I think you're gonna love it. Like,
Yeah.
do you want me to save a size for you? And like, there's nothing better than that. And I love that relationship, and I love being able to go in and also try stuff on, and then be like, you already have something that looks exactly like that. Like, do you really need it?
Yeah. That sounds like every day of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that you're up and running and like, well, and you don't have to answer this question, but I always find it fascinating. Like, how hard was it to scale? Like, how quickly were you able to launch and then be able to be in a place where you were able to say, okay, I'm right. I need to hire help. Like, I'm not in the store every day. Like, you're able to kind of take a little bit of a breath that you were no longer just sinking money into a business every month because retail is really hard.
Yeah. So it was kind of crazy. People were like, what are you doing? We opened in April of 21. And it's like when people were starting to get back into the world because, COVID. And people are like, what are you doing? And my retail consultant was like, people are going to start shopping again. This isn't going to be forever. And she was like, I think spring's a good time to do it. So that's how we kind of planned our date along with like construction because we completely revamped the space. And the first week, I remember we had like a soft launch and then a grand opening and then a party in the same week. And we had to contact all of our vendors and be like, ship us overnight all this stuff. Because we sold out faster than we thought. And after that, it was easier to scale. But we just, we had no idea how
Yeah.
the response would be.
Feeling though, like that's like the
It
best,
was.
especially when it's kind of scary to take a risk like that and, sink a bunch of money and be like,
Yeah.
oh, it works. We'll see what happens. So what is your favorite part in your role? I know you love being in the store and styling clients. I know you love buying. What's your split right now in terms of like actually managing like big picture store stuff like scheduling and like the even like the displays or like moving things around? How much of that do you enjoy being involved in? Or are you like, I love the buying and I love the styling and like the other things are not as exciting to me?
I really love all of it. The only thing I don't love is the business side of things, like the numbers.
No, I get that. Yeah.
It's like the budgets for the categories and all that stuff. Like managing the cash flow,
Yeah.
which is why I hired someone to do it for me. But my employees are amazing. Like I trust that I could leave for like 2 weeks and be fine. Trust them not to have to call them once and know everything will be great.
Yeah.
So that makes it so much easier.
That's really nice.
And they're so helpful with everything. So we all do merchandising together. And I'm like, if they want to do it one day, they do it. If I want to do it, I do it.
Exactly what you mean by merchandising. Like,
So it would be like moving the store around, doing displays, like changing the mannequins. I guess visual merchandising would be the term that you would use.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like the placement of where all the products are.
Okay, got it. I do not have this degree.
But that is okay. I understand. But
and-
yeah, I love like face-to-face customer interaction. I love seeing people in the clothes and like when they feel great and they're like ready to go for their event or like just an everyday dress. I just love it. I really love it all. Everything except for the like business side of stuff.
I get that. Nobody likes that part. Well, somebody likes that part, but it's not me.
Yes.
And then did you say at the beginning of this, do you also have your own clothing line?
Yes. So my sisters and I, we had this dream of starting our own clothing line for years and years and years. And we actually started researching years ago, like, because you have to have like a manufacturer and know the right one, someone you trust, a design team. So it took years to build, but we launched it. Gosh, what year are we in? Okay, I guess we launched it for wholesale in 23. Was it August of 23?
Okay.
So now we sell to retailers all over the U.S. But
Oh, that's so exciting.
yes, it's so much fun. It's called Briton Court. And we do women's styles and children's styles. The prints are all the same, like they match the mommy and me, or you can buy them separately. But we have a manufacturer out of India. We have a few. And then our design team, we have a few local. And then our main print designers in Brazil. So
fun.
It has been so much fun.
So y'all have been working on that for a long time. Your sister owns a clothing boutique, but for kids. So
Yes.
Do you sell the adult, like the mommy and daughter stuff at your store? Or do you sell the mommy stuff and people go across the street?
Yes, that's what we do. So
Yeah.
I sell the women's and then she has the kids across the street. We do have a website and a lot of our retailers either have just a kids store or just a women's store.
Okay.
So a lot of people split it up. And then when they find out there's like a matching kids
They're like,
They are all about it.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they are. So are these mostly dresses or like matching sets, like block print patterns? Like what's the main vibe? I'm sure you have lots of
So I'm actually wearing one right now.
cute.
This is our Frenchie dress, and it launches, I think, in a couple weeks. No, this one might be June or July. But this is coming soon. And I snagged this one from the warehouse. Um,
No,
don't tell my sister.
yeah.
But so we started as only dresses, and we've added different categories over the seasons. So now we have dresses, sets, like separates, tops and bottoms.
Yeah.
We've already introduced children's sweaters, and women's sweaters are coming for this fall. So
Mhm.
the line's starting to grow, and we're adding new categories. But we have also added boys shorts, like
Oh, yeah.
kids, younger
Mhm.
boys, because all the moms were requesting it.
I'm sure.
And
I know I have
babies.
3 boys and there's like never like mommy and me stuff for
Oh,
boys.
you'll have to check it out. You'll love it for the boys.
Although my boys are now at the age where like I like can't get them to wear anything
Yeah.
other than sweatpants, but
I get it.
maybe August. So is it just one of your sisters or are all 3 of you doing this?
It's all three of us.
Okay. So how do y'all divide? Like, what's the strength of each sister? Because I mean, that is kind of, especially y'all all have fashion. Like, do you ever get into like a disagreement over like a pattern, or do you guys all have like such similar styles that you're like, we just it all
We
vibes?
really don't. We work really well together. We're all super close. We've never gotten into a disagreement. I feel like we all kind of have like different styles, but all like the same vision, which
Mhm.
helps. But if one of us doesn't like something about the print, we just listen and then fix it how we want it to look.
Like you just adjust.
Yes. So Steffi is my twin, and she was the one that had wholesale experience from Southern Tide, and she runs the business day to day. So
Okay.
that is like her full time job. She works with the manufacturer, the designers, and the whole like team. And
Okay.
then Christina's at her store across the street from me. And then I'm here daily, but we all do the design meetings together. We pick the styles. We kind of like develop the line together, and then we all just kind of jump in when we can.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I was wondering, I'm like, so wait, what's the third sister? So she's predominantly managing or overseeing the clothing line.
Yes.
What do you think was harder to do? Start the store or design a clothing line?
I think the clothing line.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, it's like thinking through the logistics of design in terms of like the actual structural design in terms of like print or pattern, like hems, length, sizing, like measuring for all of that, then finding the vendors that you trust. Like that's a lot. How many like I know y'all did a lot of work on the front end, but like let's say your first article, let's say I think you said it was a dress. How many like versions or samples did you have to go through before you were like, this is the right fit? Probably a lot.
So the first show we went to was in Atlanta, and my sister went and showed the line in the temps, like the temporary
Mhm.
showroom, and we had no idea. We were like, we're going to take all these samples, and we only had one sample set. I can't remember the exact like SKU number or quantity of how many like articles we had, but we did have women's and children. And she opened, I believe, 65 stores at that one show. And
Wow.
we were like, oh my gosh. We were like, this is real. So
We got it. We nailed
yeah.
it. We're good. Like
And
let's
yes. So and we've had to, of course, like change samples, and the process is like never ending.
I'm
But
sure.
our team now is great. So I feel like everyone trusts each other, and we are very close with our manufacturer in India. So it's really all about relationships at this point.
Yeah,
But
sure.
it took a long time to get there.
Yeah, sure. Well, and y'all all have like fashion retail wholesale experience, which is huge. I mean, to be able
Yeah.
to have those relationships and those connections and that education, that background, to be able to like put all three of your brains together and make that work. And like how fun to get to work with your sisters and really have like ownership over you are what you're carrying in your store, as well as like what you are going to carry for your actual line. Like I just always love that. I love when there is that like you get to decide what manufacturers, what brands, what people, what companies you want to work with, and that ideally they're people you believe in and want to see succeed.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we have so much fun. I didn't even feel like I'm working because it's just fun.
So fun. That, you know, and that's like, I always like go back to like, that's the magic of so many people don't love their jobs that it's like when you do love your job, it's like, it's just nothing is better.
Yes.
So, I can't wait to see the store. I can't wait to come in and try on some things. I've got my eye on a couple of items. So Jenny and Eric come and do a little try on, that day. And then, I know y'all have heard all about Console Club, and so we're not going to go into that too much, but we can't wait to be in Greenville, with you and Jenny Panko styling, for folks to be able to shop Harrington's with a discount, as well as get their full size Dear Lucy marine antioxidant serum, as well as their 2-hour Consult Club presentation. So we are very excited. And kind of teeing up for that, what I always like to ask, what are like 2 kind of burning skincare questions that you have personally, right? Like things that you're like, these are kind of questions that I might have, or concerns I have, or products I have questions about, anything.
Well, I feel like I could go on forever asking you questions. But I feel like like at the moment, it's kind of newer for me, but I feel like my skin has been super dry, and I don't know if it's like allergy related or like the weather, the pollen this season, but I feel like I have got to find something to moisturize my face that actually like sets in the works for me.
Yes.
Um,
Moisture is a huge, huge issue for people. There are a couple of key things I always talk about. Number one, check your cleanser. If you're using a gel-based cleanser or an exfoliating cleanser, that sometimes is actually the problem.
oh, wow.
And switching to like a gentle hydrating cleanser can make a huge difference. And then looking through your products, is there anything you're using specifically that is like irritating? So of course, any retinols, any exfoliants, any like peel pads, anything like that, you probably want to like stop or back off on for sure.
Okay.
And then definitely travel, season change, illness, all those things can make our skin a little bit more sensitive. And so sometimes I say we do need to maybe use a thicker moisturizer or back off on some of the products we just talked about. In terms of moisturizers, one thing you want to be careful about is if you're using something like a hyaluronic acid serum, you want to make sure you're putting that on damp skin. If you put that on dry skin, it's just going to kind of pull the moisture out of your skin to make it appear moisturized. So be careful about that. And then moisturizer wise, there are like tons of really, really great moisturizers out there. My like personal opinion on moisturizers, like if you're just like, I'm dry and I need a moisturizer, that's not a place that you really need to spend a ton of money.
Okay.
You want to spend your money on products that are like peptide products, retinol products, exosomes, something that's an active ingredient that you're paying for the active ingredient. If you are just like, I'm dry and I need moisture, that doesn't need to be expensive. Probably my favorite line for moisturizers is the brand of Ven. They're a French company. I love them. I love their products. I have kind of 3 of their moisturizers that are my favorite. One is the Aven Zero Calm Balm. It's really, really thick. You can use it head to toe. You can use it on newborn babies. I use it for my like eczema pediatric patients. If you get a lot of milia, like, those little like whiteheads that you can get under the skin, you just want to be careful because it is going to be like occlusive. That's my favorite when I'm really, really dry. And then I also they have more of like a whipped one. It's more of like a lightweight, but it's still really nice and moisturizing because some people don't like the feeling of a thick, balmy moisturizer, but they need it. So I will bring you both of those.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Another question I had is, and this could be with the dry skin. I feel like my under my eyes, I mean, I'm aging clearly, but under my eyes can sometimes get like irritated easily and look super like creasy and dry.
So the skin around our eyes is super sensitive. So it's definitely going to be reactive. I usually will say if you're using, again, anything exfoliating, I usually have you put like a little bit of Vaseline around your eye before you would use like a retinol, before you would
Yes.
use a peel pad, anything like that to really protect that skin. Also, I see a lot of rashes on the eyelids, like around the eyes from things like candles, like plug-in devices, like oil diffusers. I also see a lot of rashes around the eyes from nails, like acrylic nails, because we'll like rubber eyes. I'm not saying that you have any of these, but these are things we think about. And then, of course, we think about, are there any particular products that we're putting in that area that shouldn't be put in that area? So like when you're putting on a retinol, you really shouldn't bring that above that orbital bone. You're going to get penetration there. And if you're getting dry, a little Vaseline first. Vaseline's wonderful for around the eyes as long as you're not getting, again, those little milia. And then in terms of the creasing, sometimes what can happen if we're putting makeup on is if we're putting on like a ton of products and then putting on a thick layer of makeup, that's just going to get kind of like cakey and creasy. So, using like less makeup, in the areas that are around the eyes, and then trying to kind of be thoughtful about how many layers of products we're putting on before applying our makeup. So focus on like thick products and eye creams maybe at night if that's a problem for you. The eyes are so hard because we just have crepey skin, and it does. I mean, that currently is my least favorite or problem area for myself is like that kind of crepey red under the eyes because it's really, really hard. It's really hard to create.
I think mine are super sensitive too because I think what set mine off was like a not a tanning pad, an exfoliating pad, and I think I got it like too close.
Yes.
And then ever since then, I have not recovered.
Yes, and that will happen. And so I say that a lot about eyes. Once you get that skin irritated or inflamed, sometimes the only way to get it back to normal is actually to treat with prescriptions, like a little low strength prescription topical steroid, because that skin is so sensitive that every time it's exposed to anything even slightly irritating, it's just going to kind of re-up that irritation. So Vaseline. If it's itchy, do like a Zyrtec or a Zysol for a couple of weeks too. And then really avoid anything close to that eye because it's hard. But yeah, a peel pad, that'll do it for sure. And then you can't recover and then you travel and then and then it's just sort of spirals out of control for sure. I know that eyes are hard. Well, we're so excited to come and chat all things skincare in Greenville and get to see Harrington's. Any other questions?
I don't think so. I can't wait. We're so excited too. I don't think I have any other questions, but I'll have a lot for you when you come.
I know. Well, we can't wait. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Consult Club. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Share an episode with a friend, and be sure to follow along on social media at The Consult Club. You can read more on Substack at The Consult Club.